Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Why is the middle class shrinking? Why are people facing an affordability crisis while marginalized individuals called informals grow in numbers? Join me as I travel the world, speaking with people living in invisibility, the leaders working to solve it, and uncovering the hard truths shaping our economy and daily reality.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Yes, Congressman, I hear you. I hope you can hear me clearly. I guess we should start with one of the big stories that occurred just Sunday, 48 hours ago. Mamdani having the nerve, the audacity to skip the Israeli Day Parade. How offensive was it in your opinion?
It's offensive. It's also dangerous because basically what he's doing is the reasons he gave for not going was an attack on the Israeli government, an attack on Netanyahu, and that just feeds into the pro-Hamas demonstrations, the anti-Semitism in the city. This is one time above all. First of all, it's always important to go to those type of events, especially the Israel Day Parade in view of the anti-Semitism over the years. But it's critically important now when there's so much anti-Semitism in the city, when we've seen these violent demonstrations, when we've seen the threats, we've seen actually demonstrations outside temples which get violent. You have the mayor himself who has made very anti-Semitic remarks. To me, one way he could have done to smooth that over, to make relations better, was to be at that parade and proudly take part in it. Excuse me. That's why I give Commissioner Tisch so much credit because she said she would march. She really had a bit of a cough here, and she would march proudly. And marching proudly was really a way, I thought, of sticking it to Mayor Mamdani.
Absolutely. Do you see a scenario, or maybe it's just me, I see a scenario where often, as we know, Congressman King, police commissioners can use their platform if they want to and run for mayor. I really see her and a strong possibility as the first woman mayor of New York City. What do you think?
Well, I think she would be an ideal mayor. I actually know Jessica going back, I guess now almost 20 years, when I was on the Homeland Security Committee and I was working very closely with the NYPD and Ray Kelly. And Ray Kelly, I guess he recruited her almost right out of law school. And she was the youngest person in the room. She would be in a prominent place in the room when they were having the major security meetings. She was involved with the Lower Manhattan Security Initiative. That's the whole the camera system, downtown Manhattan. And she, again, was very knowledgeable, very composed. I'm saying that for someone who was, first of all, she's in a room full of cops. She was probably the only female, as I recall it, and she was certainly the youngest person in the room. And yet she handles herself with tremendous class, with composure, and obviously tremendous knowledge. And it's obvious from her job that she's been doing that she knows what it's like to be the job that the cops have. She knows what the job of the police department is, and she's done an outstanding job at it. And she has a quiet but firm way of expressing herself. I mean, she just very calmly said that she was, after the mayor went into his whole rant why he wasn't going to march, and she didn't take him on. She didn't get carried away. Just very calmly said that she would march, and she's put in the word proudly. And that, to me, one word was just perfect. It was absolutely the right meaning she was giving, the right message. So, no, could she be mayor? Yes, obviously she'd be, I think, a good candidate and a great mayor.
And you're correct, Congressman. Just the use of that one additional word said all that needed to be said. So Mamdani himself points to the fact that he let us know his hatred during the campaign. Like that's some valid reason for him to do what he did, stating that his views were stated during the campaign. Do you think that most New Yorkers really got it where this guy was coming from during the campaign?
I think because he was such a new candidate and so much gets caught up in the confusion, and we had, as you know, 3 candidates running for mayor, It was sort of a confusing situation. And no, I don't think they realized all that he was saying. And if they did, they thought maybe it was just something he was saying to get elected, or he was getting carried away a bit, globalize the Intifada. I thought it was disgraceful and shameful. But I can see the average New Yorker who's not focusing on it every day says, listen, things are bad here in the city. How bad can this guy be? He's a young guy. Let's give him a chance. And I think that is probably what got him elected as much as anything. But he was a new face. Things were not going well. Even though I have to say that in his last year in office, I thought Eric Adams did a very good job. But no, I don't think they fully appreciated it. But the other thing is, Dominic, I think though that too many did. I mean, if anyone knew what he was saying and still voted for him, how could they do it? How could you be a New Yorker? How could you be an American and vote for someone who talks about the Intifada, who didn't say a word of protest when there were riots and demonstrations at Columbia and other schools, when Jews were being attacked in the streets, and yet he was so quick to criticize any other human rights violation that he was perceiving, but somehow it was open season on Jews. So, and then he also the whole class warfare, where he talked about private single-family homes and going after people who were making more money than others. I mean, again, going against the whole American dream. And so I think not everyone realized what he was saying. Not everyone took him seriously, but enough did that they still shouldn't have voted for him.
Well, his pal, Curtis Lewa, has already announced that he's running again, and that's clearly a move to split the opposition vote, which in a scenario to benefit Mamdani, he would, be reelected. But I don't see any possible way, shape, or form that this man gets a second term. What do you think, Congressman King?
I would certainly hope not. I would spend, we saw in Chicago, they had a terrible mayor, and then they elected someone who was worse after that. So I don't know, maybe people are slow learners these days. I just don't see it, though. I mean, New York has always been special. As I said, I was born and raised in New York. I was born in Manhattan, raised in Queens, went to high school and college in Brooklyn. I was a Brooklyn Dodger fan, Met fan. My father was a cop, NYPD. So it's just, and New York is always, whether you agreed or disagreed, there was a certain style we all had. We understood each other. And he just not fit into that mold at all. I mean, I don't care whether it was Charlie Rangel or Rudy Giuliani. You can get along with them. I mean, the fact is that people from different backgrounds, somehow with all the rock'em sock'em style in New York, we managed to, most of all, be a New Yorker and be an American. And I just don't see that. Don't see that with Mamdani.
And it's interesting, Congressman King, because you are correct. Whether it was Giuliani versus Rangel, they could still do business with each other. Whether it's Peter King versus Rangel or whoever else on the other side, you guys could still do business with each other on behalf of the American people. But those days are gone. So Delaney Hall, you've got the governor of the state, Mikey Sherrill, going out there, knowing she's not going to get in, a photo op, and she accuses ICE of causing the violence. I don't understand, Congressman King, why are Democrat elected officials doing what they're doing?
Well, I particularly don't understand Mikey Sherrill. I mean, I knew her somewhat in Congress, and the image she tried to project was the Navy veteran. She was different from other Democrats. As I recall, she didn't even vote for Nancy Pelosi for Speaker. She was this moderate, right-of-center Democrat, common-sense Democrat. And then she becomes governor, and she's appearing and enabling and encouraging those rioters and demonstrators. And, she can say what she wants now. She didn't know it was going to get out of control. If you're an elected official and you go into a turbulent situation and you throw kerosene on the fire, you have to know what's going to happen. And again, I have not been in Delaney Hall, but I did, I guess, with Congressman Van Drew, who's a Republican from New Jersey, who had been a Democrat. He was elected as a Democrat. He's a dentist, as I recall. I was only there for one term with him, but I followed him since. And he did go through Delaney Hall. He said this stuff is all BS, that there was no hunger strike. The food is acceptable. It's a properly run detention facility. And now they're relying, these people, they have a few people on the inside who are giving stories about how bad it is. Well, if you get prisoners or detainees, you're always going to find someone who's complaining. And then you find out that so many of these demonstrators are from out of state. It shows how the whole thing, whether it's Minneapolis, whether it's now Newark, how this is planned by the anti-ICE people, the anti-government people, the pro-open borders people, the anti-Trump people. They are organizing this, and Mikey Sherrill, as a governor, it was really wrong for her. She has a lot to account for having any part in that. If she wanted to find out exactly what was going on, she could have, I'm sure, in a very civilized way, either gone to the president or gone to the Homeland Security Secretary, Mark Mullen, could have spoken to Tom Homan and asked for a briefing and calmly go in a back door without any publicity and take a look for herself. Now, I think you know, Dominic, you've been around over the years, there's no such thing as a pretty jail. There's no such thing as a pretty detention facility. You can go in the best of them, and it's just a very bad feeling you get when you're in there. It's just the way it is. That's the nature of a detention facility. It's the nature of a prison. But to compare that to somehow to torture and starvation and all that they're talking about, brutality, is wrong. It's unfair. And it also, again, it's unfair to the good men and women of ICE who put their lives on the line for us every day and really are slandered and smeared. And it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful enough that the hardliners do it. What's even worse is to have elected officials who swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States doing anything to enable and to encourage those anti-ICE feelings.
Absolutely, Congressman King. I guess I'll close with this. America's big day is coming up soon, and all these entertainers now pulling out on President Trump. He says he may do a MAGA rally instead. And my point is, if you're going to embarrass the presidency of the United States of America by pulling out, then what other choice does he have? But how do you see this entire situation?
I think them just pulling out, when they agreed to go in, they knew what it was. And to me,
exactly.
I think someone got to them, and
exactly.
It advanced their careers. So now they're backing out on some kind of moral ground. No, it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. If they didn't want to do it in the first place, that's one thing. To me, if you're asked to do something with the President of the United States, if at all possible, you should try to do it. If you can't, you don't do anything to ridicule or demean the office. There's plenty of time to criticize the president publicly, but you don't do it by turning down an invitation to basically entertain and take part in the country's 250th birthday.
Exactly. Congressman Peter King, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
And I don't want to get in trouble at home. My wife says she still loves you, so just so you know.
Send our regards to your lovely wife and your lovely family, Congressman. Thank you. Always a great honor to chat with you.
Get ready, Staten Island. It's time to celebrate 5 years of Ferry Hawks baseball.
This week, come out to the ballpark as the Ferry Hawks welcome in the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park for a homestand on June 10th. For a 5-game series as the Ferry Hawks welcome in the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars. Individual game tickets start at just $12.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.